I do tend to wake up with a kind of burning desire to talk about something. And today I woke up with the desire to talk about how teachers, this includes meditation teachers, meditation coaches, healers, practitioners, how they stop themselves from fully launching their business and being successful in their work. So first, I just want to address that there is currently a movement happening of people wanting to leave the mainstream or corporate or a job where you have to check in and work for somebody else and do something that isn't aligned to who you are, isn't aligned to your soul. And people are leaving that kind of work to create their own work that feels like it's truly coming from them, work that includes spiritual gifts, healing gifts, that contributes to the betterment of humanity, work that's purpose-driven. So right now we're seeing this movement, and a lot of this movement has to do with spirituality, healing, and meditation. A lot of women, I've noticed, have started this first leg, oftentimes teaching yoga, and people have been through a lot of yoga teacher trainings, and then they go through yoga teacher training and say, well, this isn't quite it for me. And they recognize that they love teaching, they do like teaching yoga sometimes, but it doesn't feel like their true calling. And now we see also a movement towards healing and exploring the subtle gifts of healing. But at the same time, there isn't really a roadmap and a set guideline on how to launch as a healer, because it's still a pretty new, as in very old, but new for today. It's a new offering. And I'm going to share with you 6 ways that teachers and healers stop themselves. And they're very practical. I'm just going to go through them really quickly and then go into each one. 1, it's not being good enough. 2, perfectionism. 3, being afraid of being pigeonholed or judged. 4, the Jonah Syndrome, which I'll explain more about. 5, the Imposter Syndrome. And 6, not really sure what to do or what to do next. And that has a lot to do with your business setup. People don't realize that when you go into this work for yourself, you in a sense become also a business. And there are logistics, business logistics, marketing logistics, online technical logistics that often stop healers and teachers and practitioners in their tracks. So I'm going to go through these one by one now. The first one, not being good enough, has to do with your confidence and your skill to help and serve people. A lot of people, when they come into this type of work, whether it's healing or coaching, teaching, they feel, and it's natural to feel a bit insecure. You haven't had a lot of experience in it. But then what you do see is a lot of serial certification takers or workshop takers, seminar takers. So they want certification after certification, more training after more training after more. And they really need that validation, that external validation, a piece of paper that says you're good enough to help people. And actually what we teach in our training is that if you just have the heart, the intention to help people, you can do no wrong. And that you can absolutely help people without a certification. And in fact, that's how I started this work. It was all natural. It was just part of who I was. I liked listening to people. I liked helping people with their problems. I liked making their lives better. And even though I wasn't quite skilled, I kept doing it, whether I was paid or I wasn't paid. It was something I enjoyed. I loved doing it, and I continued to do it, even offer these trainings without certification. So it's okay to start out and feel a bit insecure, but don't get stuck there. Be aware of being stuck in the, I'm not sure if I'm good enough, I need another certification, or I need another thing to validate my worth. as a skilled practitioner. So that's the first thing. The second thing is perfectionism. It is the most deadly quality to launching anything, creating anything, because you're always going to try to make it perfect. You're going to touch it until you think your title sounds perfect, your website looks perfect, your website sounds perfect. Well, guess what? I didn't know the name to my website. I didn't know what to call myself. And I got stuck in that for so many years. That also goes into the third issue, which is the fear of being pigeonholed and the fear of being judged. So people get really hung up on, what should I call myself? What should I call my work? And then what they do is they call themselves 7 different things. I'm a shaman, life coach, teacher, healer, Reiki, crystal ball, and then they have 7 titles. And no one can remember 7 titles. And you get so hung up, I think, egoically on just that aspect of what you look like to other people, what you sound like to other people, that you miss the work altogether. It's like Jesus, Mother Teresa, Martin Luther King. They didn't think about what's my title, what's my website going to be, what is my book. They just went out and served. They just did that work. They showed up and they opened their mouths and they spoke and they served, or they, just went right into the action of the real work. They didn't get hung up on these external things that, until I have the right website, company name, until I have my right title, until I know what I say I'm going to do, that you can't help people. And you can help people today. You can help people now. You can do your work now. It's not about your title. It's not about the name of your website. And you really need to get over that. Otherwise, you'll be paralyzed, like I was for years, and overthinking, how to market yourself, how to share yourself, how to talk about your work. Just do the work. And people will know, because it's just you. And that's all that it really takes. So that goes into the fear of being pigeonholed. A lot of people that go into this work, they're highly creative and they like to do a lot of different things. I'm an artist. I do photography. I'm studied plant medicine. I'm a shaman. So they think that by picking one title or something simple that describes themselves and their work, that's what they're limited to. So they get stuck on the actual title, and they think that just because they choose one thing and they allow that sense of simplicity, people just know what you do and can talk about what you do very easily to somebody else. So know that you can do whatever you want. You don't have to be stuck to the one thing, but it helps to get started with something. Your job role, your business can always change. It can evolve. I've changed my business name 5 times. I've still done what I've been doing over, 12 years ago. I'm still doing the same thing. It's the same essence. But if I had gotten stuck on, if I do this, then I can't do that because I call myself this, then of course that hesitation doesn't allow you to move forward. So don't worry about ever being pigeonholed. You can still do the variety of things that you love to do. Maybe somebody will come into a session with you and experience aromatherapy, crystal ball healing, massage, touch. Maybe they'll experience these things, but it's the experience. It's not the things that matter. It's the experience. And that's what you're offering to people, is that healing, that uplifting experience. Okay, so the next one is the Jonah Syndrome. The Jonah Syndrome is the fear of success. You've probably heard that quote from Marianne Williamson that says, we don't fear our darkness. I'm just quoting this. I don't know if it's right, but we fear our light. We fear our greatness. We fear how far we can go. And the Jonah Syndrome has to do with, well, if I follow what I really want and separate myself from the herd, then people are going to think I'm selfish and arrogant. So I need to blend in with everybody else and be part of the herd so that I'm accepted. So you don't really break out and go into what your unique gift and your unique offering is, because you're always being held back by that sense of, I don't want to separate myself from everybody else. And it's that fear of abandonment, the fear of judgment, the fear of succeeding, the fear of being great that keeps you small, that keeps you more hidden, that keeps you invisible, that keeps you quiet, that keeps you more silent. And that's the thing. People are afraid of being judged for this work. They don't want to be seen as cuckoo, woo-woo, or out there. They want to be grounded. They want to feel accepted by their peers, by society, but they're not willing to go out on a limb and say, this is what I do and this is what I'm offering. Those are the most simple things that you can start with. And I'll go into that in just a bit. Next thing is 5, Imposter Syndrome. So everybody goes through this phase, which is, is this real? Am I really good? Can I really help people? Oh, that was a fluke. That time I helped somebody and they had this huge breakthrough and their whole life changed. That was just a lucky thing that happened. So it becomes about, you're not sure if you're real or fake, if you're the real deal or if you're the fake deal. And it takes time to develop that confidence. And it's okay if you feel like an imposter, because it's natural, like it is to feel insecure and to not be sure. But with time and with experience and by practicing your gift, your craft over and over and over again, you will know it, you will feel it, you won't question it, and you'll develop that unshakable confidence in what you have to really offer, because your heart, your spirit is in it. Not because of that external egoic stuff. It's because you as a spirit are invested in being instrumental and being a channel. Okay, the next one is, lastly, not sure what to do and how to go about setting up your work and marketing, making a website, making a video, making a free offering. So this is where a lot of people get stuck, because they don't want to take pictures of themselves. They don't want to make a video. I don't want to set up my LLC. I don't want to get into developing a website because I don't know what to write. So we all start with not knowing any of this. And I came from a business background and I felt absolutely, I think crazed and overwhelmed by the amount of stuff that one would possibly need to create a business. And again, it's easy to get into your head about how to go about it. And like I said, you don't need all these things to do your work. You don't need to have a LinkedIn account, a Twitter account, an Instagram account, a Facebook account, a YouTube account. Eventually, you might have those accounts, but start with one thing. One thing. One day, wake up and say, I'm just going to play around without any attachment and see what I want to write about for my website. If I started with one page. So when you start with these logistical marketing things, start one at a time. This is why in our trainings, we provide a comprehensive toolkit that you can work at over a period of time. You don't have to tackle it all at once. You don't need to create Rome in a day. You just need to start with one thing, the most important thing that you feel called to do, and know that you have what it takes to figure it out. If everybody else has learned to figure out certain things, you can too. It's only the ego that says it's just me who can't do it. It's just me who can't succeed. It's just me who doesn't know how to do a website. And it's easy to get stuck on that. But the truth is, there are so many resources, and you can go right on YouTube and Google anything about how to do anything, right? We can Google how to do plumbing, how to paint, how to put a business together. All these things are available to you. It's just a matter of looking at it like a spiritual practice. And that's what I hope you take away from this video, is think of approaching your work like a spiritual practice. Release the expectations, release the pressure, release the mind. Let yourself breathe, let yourself drop in, let yourself take one action at a time. Let yourself stay present and grounded as you go about launching your business. And know that all these things can come up. It's natural, but don't get stuck in them and allow yourself to move past it. So I encourage you to approach it like play. Let yourself experiment. Don't put that pressure on yourself. Be open, feel free in it. If you constantly feel straitjacketed and pressured by this work, you're never going to have fun. You're never going to have the joy of really serving people because you're hung up on all of the small stuff. You got to let yourself feel big and free in it and approach things one at a time. Let yourself start with one simple job role, one simple website, one piece of ad copy. You can always build on it. You can always recreate it. It's not set in stone. It's not who you are. You are so much more than your title. You are so much more than that social image. The work is so much more meaningful on a deeper level. And that's what you're connecting to, is that deeper intention of what you want to do and how you want to live. So I would start with a mission statement for your work, a very simple mission statement. I think when I first started, mine was create with joy. And that was my mission statement. That became my guiding light in developing the business that we have now. Now we have a team of people. Now we have a structured system. It took a lot of work. It took a lot of grit. It took a lot of self-doubt, but we made it through. And if we can do it, you can do it too. If you want to have more support in the work that you do and successfully launching and creating a sustainable, flowing, prosperous business in meditation and the spiritual arts and the healing realm, then definitely check out our Liberate meditation course. That starts in March, and over half the seats are already full. So we'd love to welcome you. We love to see you succeed. That's our true intention. The more of us who are out there teaching and leading, the more we'll see the shift, the positive shift in consciousness and humanity. And that's what we really need right now, is that shift. There are a lot of people that are suffering with anxiety, depression, angst. They need that clarity. They need healing and focus. It's a growing market. It's a growing need of humanity, a real need of humanity. So when you tune into that, think about, how can I be of true service? How can I show up for this? Where do I feel called to be